All right, so good morning and welcome everybody to this Hospitality 101. My name is Howard Chen, and I will be using English for most part of our lectures, and it's more like a workshop actually. So, if possible, please turn on your camera so I can see you. So, I'm not especially interested in looking at every one of you. I just want to see how you're doing because from your reactions, I can know if you are really following or not, right? So, if possible, just keep your camera on, and so it's easier for you to stay focused. And 如果有任何问题也都可以提出来，其实我也听得懂，大家都可以讲中文。Right, so we can be a bilingual class, and please feel free to express yourself in either English 或中文都可以。都可以啦，真的，就任何问题打字也都 OK。Just don't take your questions or problems home. 如果有任何的疑问或困扰，都可以提出来哦。From today and also next Monday and then the next Monday, we will be doing this series of workshop about how to tour people. And I actually named this series of workshop Hospitality 101. 我不知道大家知不知道这个字 hospitality 讲的是一种待客之道哦，所以我也不想要把它局限在说只是导览英文哦 hospitality，因为大家都说台湾人很热情很好客，so when people say that we are 热情 and we are very 好客，how do you translate that into English? It's about word choice. 我们在翻译的时候其实是有权利的。你在翻译的时候，你选的字就代表你的想法跟你认为这个词是什么意思。So you, in a way, you dictate what the listeners perceive from you about the message. So your interpretation of the words or the ideas or the places that you're touring them around, they're very critical because you are their eyes to the world in a way, to this world, especially this Chinese speaking world, let's say. Right, so 我们在选词的时候其实很重要，所以今天我准备了一个简单的一些简报，让大家等一下好玩一点来讨论一下，也想一下。The so-called scenarios. I don't know if I have heard of the word scenario. Okay, scenario 就是一种场景。Right, so usually people say the best case scenario or the worst case scenario. Right, 就是最好的情况跟最坏的情况。Right, let's see, ENARIO. Right, so definitely I have prepared some worst case scenarios. So we can deal with them and we should deal with them. As for best case scenarios, I don't think we really need to spend a lot of time on them because they are usually good situations and everything just goes smoothly. While worst case scenarios, we need to address them. Right, so later on we will get to that. But before that, a little about myself. My name is Howard Chen, and I'm an interpreter. I have my own interpretation agency, and I have a morning news program running on Clubhouse and also podcast. And every day we have about 10,000 people listening in from all parts of the world. So I'm proud to say that through the power of language and the power of interpretation and knowledge, we can definitely benefit the world and contribute a lot. And as I know, most of you, or even all of you, are language learners. And that's why we're here. We're focusing on hospitality and touring around some places. Right, so today we'll be focusing on some basics and the worst case scenarios and how we can deal with them. And for next Monday, we will be learning more about some potential destinations that we might tour. For example, 金丝湖 or 北大武山. All right, it's a challenge for me because, I usually teach my students how to tour Longshan Temple because it's in Taipei where I'm located. Right. As for some other destinations. We will look into that next week, especially. And then we should prepare ourselves for the last week of this series. It will be 2 weeks from now, right? So it's 15th today, right? So 7 days, 14 days later, it will be the 29th. I'm expecting you to prepare some simple presentations for you to showcase in this class. Just I will give you more details and more information, and I will better prepare you guys for that. So don't worry. It's just an announcement that we are aware that how where we're heading. Right. So simply put, we're learning some basics today, and next week some background knowledge about some places we might be touring. And finally, the last week should be some demo. So it's like a mock conference, 模拟会议的概念. So it's like a mock presentation. Let's suppose that we are there already and how we can tour around, and I can play the role as the nasty customer or nasty guests. So what we learn from today, the worst case scenarios will be useful, right? Hopefully not too useful, but I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. Any questions so far? 还 OK 吗，大家？所以我们的设定应该还可以理解哈，我们3堂课的设定。好，所以 let's start. And give me a sec. I'm going to share my slide. So I name it Hospitality 101. And we'll be looking at some videos too. Some videos I just found. It's quite interesting. Okay. Okay, these are some worst case scenarios for you to look at for now, which almost all of them have happened to me. Okay. Before I became an interpreter, I was just like you. I was a university student, and I tried to take on some assignment to gain more experience. As you know, I was born and raised here in Taiwan all the way, right? So I didn't really have enough exposure to foreign guests and foreign accents and people from different parts of the world having different perceptions about the world, and they have very different ideas and questions they might have, and they pose these questions to me, and I need to know how to answer them, right? So these are, I won't say all of them are common, but we will definitely get to them. Oh, right. Okay, some useful expressions, we will get to them too. But I would like to take you back to my beginning of this journey of hospitality. Right. So for hospitality, usually people just say, hey, that's just about tourism, right? That's about the receptionist at the hotel desk or the front desk. But actually, it's more. It's a mindset for all of us to be hospitable, right? We're circling back to 好客. How do you say that in English, right? You can definitely say, Taiwanese people are very friendly and Taiwanese people are approachable. We're easy to be approached. 就是很容易亲近跟聊天讲话. And maybe talkative, 很爱讲话, or friendly, 友善啊. I think actually hospitable would be the word I use. Right, so I'll write it down if I use some keywords. So I'll write down hospitality first. That's our topic, hospitality. Yeah, we can all think about and try to define the word yourselves. Right, so hospitality, it means to be hospitable. And it has nothing to do with hospital. It sounds like hospital, but it has nothing to do with it. So hospitable, right? 好客, okay, right? Or friendly, approachable, right? So going back to the time when I was your age, how old are you? You're 19, 20, 21? All right. So when I went to Disney for this job as a international college student intern. Basically, we were interns there. Yeah, we were taught to be hospitable. Why? I was there in Florida, Disney World. You know, there are many Disneylands on Earth, and I was there in Florida, Orlando. And just in Orlando alone, there are 6 Disney theme parks. Crazy, right? So there are 4 land parks and 2 water parks. Right, so I was there. I wasn't working at one of the parks. Instead, I was working next to the park. So there was a part called a part of the area that's called Downtown Disney. So it's free of charge. Everybody can just go in and shop. So it's like a souvenir area, a lot of shops and restaurants. I was there at working at one of the souvenir stores. It's actually the biggest souvenir store in the world. So I was just 20 years old. You know, in the United States, 20 means underage. You know, so I wasn't allowed to drink, unlike in Taiwan. In Taiwan, I was drinking for 2 years. Just kidding. All right, so in the United States, I was underage. Right, so everything felt new to me, and it was my first time to be staying in English-speaking country for so long, for 2.5 months. Right. Anyway, I learned this service basics, and that's where we're starting today. All right. So obviously, this is definitely from Disney, and I don't know what you think, but overall and generally throughout the world, people think Disney is a successful service industry. Example, right? So, what's their idea? What's their philosophy? They just say okay, I project a positive image and energy, right? So here, project is a verb, right? So everybody can try to think this. What image and what energy do you project? Do you project positive image or do you project negative image so people feel bad when they're around you? I think this is useful for every one of us, no matter what industry you're going to serve, what industry you're going to work in, because well, not everyone wants to work at Disney, I suppose, and naturally. And also, not everyone wants to be in the service industry. Yet, we are in this community of people with your friends and family, and you might be, and you probably will be, having some coworkers. And still, communication is key, and also collaboration. It's not always that you can have some one-man project. You know, you're in charge of it, and you do it all yourself. It doesn't really work that way. That's not how the world works, right? So you can say, oh, I project an adjective, image, and energy, right? So what image and what energy do you project? That's a question I would like to ask you, and you can try to type in the chat, right? Just give me some adjectives, or you can type in the whole sentence too. I project a positive image and energy, if that's the case. Right. So this is the idea Disney gave us. Right? I'm not seeing any adjectives. Is everybody okay? 大家有任何形容词吗？请大家可以打字在 chat 里面哦。就是你想想看，你觉得你给人家什么样的感受，或者是你散发出来的 energy， 你的这个给人家感觉的能量，或者更口语化一点，大家都讲 vibe 啦。we just say, oh, good vibe. I love the place. Good vibes. 就是大家喜欢这样讲。然后 also there's a very interesting saying, your vibe attracts your tribe. 以前大家都会背物以类聚啊，在那边说什么的 the birds of the same feather flock together. 好，可是现在大家都不这样讲了，现在大家讲说 your vibe attracts your tribe. 就是你是怎么样的人，你身边就会是怎么样的人。 好，你散发出来的 vibe， 这个 energy 就会吸引你跟你物以类聚的人。Alright， 好，所以大家会任何的形容词吗？可以打个字哦。好，我还蛮惊讶的，大家都完全没有任何的形容词。好，just you know type。好，还是大家没有键盘？不会吧？ I suppose you all have keyboards in front of you, so you can type some adjectives. Okay, happy. Alright, we turn them into adjective. 我们用形容词哦。所以 for 陈梦 it will be you project a happy image and energy. Oh, that's good. That's a good start. 其他同学呢？ Right. So what image and what energy do you project? Or you hope to project? You know, I'm not doing fact checking, so I can't I can't really know if you're really projecting that image and energy, but just please type in the chat. 好 Okay, so at least we have one happy person in the room. Okay, so these are the other bullet points. Okay, active. Good job, 性质. Okay, active image and energy. That's very good. 很积极主动的. Alright, or we can say proactive. Proactive 就是比 active 再更 pro 再更积极一点. Alright, so smile, look approachable. We'll get to them one by one. Alright. Why am I seeing some red dots? Give me a sec. Alright, so look approachable, look happy and interested. Model the Disney look. And also keep conversations positive. Alright. Oh, give me a sec. Are there any people who's trying to join us? No. Okay. Alright. So, 这个就是一种形象啦。Alright, so from hospitality， 我觉得大家可以去思考的是，我们在去接待之前，也可以想一下说，我呈现出来的是什么形象？但我们不一定要每个人都是什么校园礼仪大使，什么有一些学校不是有什么蝴蝶兰大使，就在台上一定要站得超级正，或者是什么微笑的要8颗牙齿，要夹筷子练习。No, I think that's fine。就是我们让自己简单干净吧，就是至少把自己打理好 ，and you can express yourself. You're really friendly. You're hospitable, and you're really sincere. That you want to show people around, right? So to show people around 就是带大家去拍拍照 right? 到处去看看 right? So that was really the beginning of my, if you can say, hospitality journey. 就在这之前，我其实也不算在跟人密切接触的服务产业。我当时我大学就一直很焦虑，我以后毕业后要干嘛嘛，所以我就找了各种相关的工作，我在网络上接翻译案啊。可是那个接进来，我完全不用见到客户，我翻完还给他们，然后就等钱进来。可是就没有那么密切的跟客人面对面接触。我还去举过竞选旗帜those campaign flags。还蛮好玩的，就举完旗子以后，就会被他们带去那个总部招待，就是大家一起吃自助餐、吃饭，就是我就发现they're all relatives， 因为整个家族都出动去竞选 ，right？ So that's quite interesting, but still, it was nothing like Disney, where I needed to talk to so many people every day。那每天光是跟他们打，我是在柜台结账而已。I was a clerk at Disney. 所以每天就要跟他说 Hey, how are you? Where are you from? You see, some very basic question can start a conversation. And still sometimes they get you answers that you can't understand. Maybe it's from their accents. 我当时就遇到给大家猜猜看他是哪里来的，就一对老夫妻。然后我就说 Hey, how are you? 然后他们没有回答我。我说 Where are you from? 然后他就跟我说 Ireland. 然后我就说Pardon？ 他就再讲一次 Ireland， 然后我就想说where is the capital of your country？ 我就想说我问一下首都会不会有一点帮助 ？You know, be flexible， 就这也是我们要学习的。你总不能一直叫他 Can you repeat？ 然后 Sorry, I don't know where that is。你不觉得这样讲很没礼貌吗？就如果人家问你说 Where from？ 你跟他说 Taiwan， 他说 Sorry， 然后你说 Taiwan。我就说 Sorry, I've never heard of it。 你不觉得这样超级没礼貌吗？对，如果 if you don't stand in other people's shoes, probably you won't find it problematic. 你可能觉得 it's normal, it's fine. I'm very honest. I'm being myself. 现在大家不是很爱做自己嘛？所以就想说，OK, I'm being myself，就是我不知道就不知道啊，就是哦，我没听过你的国家哎，Tell me more 可是这个态度要很小心，right？所以 anyway, so he said, I asked him where the capital is, right? And he said Dublin. And I said, oh, 考大家地理知识。现在大家知道他 where they're from? Any idea? Where is Ireland? 有人知道吗？有听过 Dublin 吗？ Yes, exactly. 谢谢老师。好，老师知道哦。Alright, so Dublin 叫都柏林。都柏林是爱尔兰的首都啦。那大家可能会比较感兴趣的是，大家知道爱尔兰是独立的国家。为什么要这样讲呢？因为非常多人以为爱尔兰是英国的一部分，但是呢，又真的有点纠结的是，北爱尔兰 （Northern Ireland） really is still governed by the UK. It's part of the UK. 就北爱尔兰的确是英国的一部分，但是北爱尔兰也有一些人想独立。Right, so it's quite interesting. Right, 但北爱尔兰是北爱尔兰 but Ireland is Ireland, and with these couple, or I mean this couple's accent, it sounds like Ireland. Right. So to me, it was very new and also interesting because now I get this story to tell to share to everybody, right? Then basically, the ideas are the same. That is to be positive and to be smiley. I mean, you put on a smile all the time and try to be nice. Basically, that is, what the Americans say. Americans love to say nice and they love to be, that's nice, she's nice, he's really nice. Alright, so what's nice? 大家可以思考一下。我觉得 nice 是一个很模糊的概念，就是 anything that makes people feel good or fine, that's nice. Alright, so basically that is idea. 但总之是将心比心啊。那 to look approachable, do you know anyone who looks very cold and indifferent? Probably. 我们都讲说，就是只要有一个how do you say that? Like resting face. 什么叫大家听过 resting face 吗？ Like resting face is the look when you are not putting on any emotions or putting on any facial expressions on your face. So that's your resting face. And for some people, well, I think, I'm teaching, so I'm allowed to teach you this, right? So many people just say, bitch resting face. For some people who look really cold and hard to talk to or difficult to talk to, people say they have a bitch resting face. It means that they don't do it on purpose. That's how they look, when they are not speaking. So we try not to have that when we are being hospitable, right? We want to look approachable. We want to look friendly, and we want to look happy and interested. That's a very interesting idea for us to think of as well, because we can look interested. 大家会想说，这个 ed 是被动式，对，可是它可以直接在 look 后面啊，就是我们看起来很感兴趣的感觉。Right. So if you have ever talked to anyone who doesn't look interested when they're talking to you, you can feel that hurt, right? That's terrible, and we don't want that, right? So we want to be really listening when people are talking to us, and of course, when you do that to people, usually people do that back to you. So it's mutual, right? 这是双向的, right? Just like on Facebook, do you still use Facebook? Right. So on Facebook, 互为好友，共同朋友。You can say like you have some mutual friends, right? 共同的朋友。And model the Disney look. Disney look has been changed over the years. When I was working at Disney about 11 years ago, people were not allowed to have earrings or tattoos. And now people can have tattoo. And now there are even, some gay, what should I say, like gay-friendly design and rainbow signs, and that's a lot of progress in my view, because Disney was really conservative, but now, they're getting more and more open, and the Disney look generally is to look clean, look happy, look nice, right? And keep conversations positive, right? So when people talk to you, you don't say, "Oh yeah, but," when you say that, but, you know, it's nice, but, so when you say that, you are unintentionally or maybe intentionally saying negative things or disagreeing people. I'm not saying that we have to agree with everything people say when we are being hospitable, but it's not a debate, right? It's a conversation. It can be just a chit chat, or sometimes in English we call this a small talk. Small talk? For small talk, really it's like 闲聊. So when you're doing small talk, you don't really talk about serious stuff. You can talk about referendum, like 公投. I mean, we don't talk to people about this every day, but yeah, you can talk about it. But usually you just touch on the surface of it. For example, oh, have you voted, or are you going to to back home for that referendum vote? We don't talk about some highly political stuff. Right? It depends on how familiar you are with that person, right? How close you are. Yeah. And if you want to go that serious and go that deep. But usually for small talk, I don't know if you can imagine this, when you're walking on the street in, let's say, not just Disney, because Disney is a special place, so it's not a very everyday place. But in California or in New York, big cities, Los Angeles, San Francisco, when you're waiting for the traffic light to turn, some people might just, walk by and say hi, and they would say, "Hi, hello, how are you? And how's your day?" And you'll be like, What's this guy doing? I don't know them, right? But that's normal. It's just normal for them, right? To say hello and to say hi to you, and they would say, "Yo, what's up?" And, "Hey, how's it going?" And you'd be like, "Oh, do I know you?" No. You would just say, how's it going? All right. So that's a positive vibe. That's the basic idea for us to start here. All right. So for your presentation 2 weeks later, I will be expecting you to project a positive image and energy like this Disney philosophy I just shared. All right. So let's move on. All right. So these are the Disney basics. And now I would like you guys to take a look. And you can practice these phrases. These are some simple phrases to start. And later we will talk about some very important ideas. For example, dietary preferences of people. Right. So first of all, some basic sentence structures for us to begin. And you can just try to repeat after me, right? I see that you're in the same classroom. Many of you are in the same classroom, but still, yeah, it's fine. You can just repeat, right? So, it's good that you practice this, because when you're at a gym and you watch your trainer do squats, you don't grow your muscles. So it works the same for English speaking. You really need to train your muscles and try to sound differently. So then you're speaking the language. Because for English, when we're pronouncing English or any other foreign language, we're using different muscle groups than when we're using Chinese, right? So it takes practice. It's normal. So just don't be shy and say it out loud. Right, so repeat after me. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Don't say pressure. Pressure is 压力, right? Pleasure. 这边有一个 Pleasure. Yes, very good. It's my pleasure. Right. So you can say, "Oh, hi, my name is blah blah. It's my pleasure to show you around our campus." Right? So let's practice the sentence. It's my pleasure to show you around our campus. All right, it's my pleasure to show you around our campus. All right, you can change it to show you around town, or to show you around the city, show you around the research center, show you around, I don't know, my place. If you have a big place, right? So to show you around your place, right? So like I said, show around 就是去导览嘛 tour around, to go around town, right? My pleasure to show you around our campus, right? And also, this is also a very good sentence. I am more than happy to, right? So I'm teaching you, what I'm teaching you is not just English, it's about attitude and also an emotion that you're projecting. Because the problem with most Taiwanese students, from my observations and myself included, we didn't really know, or we don't really know, how to express ourselves in a foreign language. I mean, yes, we've been trained to listen, we've been trained to read and to take tests, but when it's our turn to speak, our tone is usually flat. Like we might say things like, "It's my pleasure to show you around our campus." I don't sound passionate, right? So that's also part of the practice, right? So when you're saying this, supposedly you're really happy, and you really feel you really think that it's your honor, or you're very happy to do so. So you say, "I'm happy to show you around our campus," or "It's my pleasure to show you around our campus." And for the second one, "I'm more than happy to." Right? So maybe you're just a little happy, but you can say, "I'm more than happy." So it shows hospitality. People can feel that, oh wow, so they're really happy to help. They're helpful, right? Okay, yeah. So a little story now again. So let me show you share with you my story. So my first overseas trip was to South Korea, but it was I'm going to talk about a story about attitude and being helpful. Right, so I went to South Korea with my family, but it was a tour travel, so we didn't really get to talk to any locals except for the travel guide, or sorry, the tour guide. Yeah, and then my second foreign trip, or trip overseas, was to Paris. Right, so this time finally I was alone. It was before Disney, right? So I was there to visit a friend. Yeah, thanks to my family support, I could afford that trip to Paris. Yeah, but then, it was really eye-opening for me because, I was alone and nobody was forcing me to do anything, and I wasn't following any tour group. So I should, and I could, and I should decide for myself what I would like to do, like for that few days. So I just walk around town in Paris, and then a tourist came to me and say, "Hey, excuse me, do you know how do I get to blah blah blah?" And somewhere, and something that sounds like either French or English. I don't remember, but I can just say you can maybe go there or something like that. It's my first exam, on site exam, right? So I wasn't really helpful, right? Just simply put. And then somebody just appeared. I think it's local, and her English was really fluent, and she just said, "Oh, you can just go somewhere and turn right and go straight, and walk for example 5 minutes, and you will see it." Yeah, and the lady just, the tourist just said to the lady, say, "Thank you so much. You're so helpful," and she didn't talk to me. And I was like, "Oh, bad, that's bad," right? But that's all right. But I didn't really do a good job when I was asked to help, but I couldn't really help. But actually, now come to think about it, I could simply say, "Sorry, I'm not from here. I don't know either." Right? That would be helpful too, to save her some time. Right? So just try to be helpful. That's the idea. But only be helpful when you can really be helpful. Yeah, because I'm not from here. Yeah. So one of the most awkward moments. I'm not from here, or sometimes we don't No, we talk to people who looks like a staff person, like a staff member of a place, but they don't work at the store. They would just say, "Sorry, I don't work here." Oh, sorry, I don't work here. All right. So one of these awkward moments. Anyway, back here. Yeah, if I could be of help, I would just say I'm more than happy to do something. Right. So I'm more than happy to introduce you the history of our school if you know the history of your school. So you see from here, for touring people or to be hospitable, we need to be knowledgeable. Right? This never occurred to me. 我以前真的没有想过这件事情，就是我们都一直在想，我都一直在想说，哦，我要学接待或导览英文，可是我比较少去想，那 what's the content I'm going to present, right? 就内容到底是什么？ So actually, for an assignment for you to succeed an assignment, you need very clear understanding of the assignment itself, and also do a lot of preparation work. Right, so 准备真的非常重要, especially for touring, because people might ask you a lot of questions, and if your answer to these questions are always the same as I don't know, I'm not sure, let me check. Wouldn't they be lame for you to be a local? I mean, 这样听起来像情绪勒索的文法或句型。对，可能我意思是说，如果要导览人家，要懂的一些东西吧。Right， 所以导览很大的价值其实是在于它的知识。And they can be, I mean, for good tour guides, they can be really intriguing. 真的非常非常的引人入胜哦。Right, so it takes a lot of work, to be interesting. We all want to be interesting people, but not everybody wants to do the hard work, right? 所以要花一些心力，你才能够融会贯通你的知识嘛，才能够讲得有趣嘛。如果今天我们讲一个导览界大家公认最难的任务 ，maybe is to tour people around the National Palace Museum 故宫。故宫的英文是皇宫博物馆 National Palace Museum. Right, it would be really challenging, right? 就如果今天来介绍一个什么翠玉白菜 you can't just say, oh, it's a cabbage. It's the most cabbage of our country. Oh yeah, tell me more about it. That's everything I know. If you're like that, 如果你就是换位思考嘛 ，stand in other people's shoes。如果你今天出国，假设我们去 I don't know 去日本好了，大家可能感受比较强烈。去日本，因为也许日文大家没那么通，或者我们去韩国好了，那你来到他们的国家博物馆，然后最有名的展品，他就说，哦，我们这边最有名的展品就是这个，然后你自己看吧，就这样，你就觉得，哈，Is that it? Alright, so we should be knowledgeable. So preparation and also background knowledge, very important. Right, and to say thanks, it's also very important. You say thank you for flying all the way from your country to visit us. Well, it does not probably suit our situation now, because now with COVID going around, not many people can really fly in from their countries, but still you can say thank you, and you can say that you appreciate their suggestions for the school, right? Appreciate, right? 这个字非常多人乱用跟用错，就是除了你除了讲谢谢，你可以讲 thank you, thanks。顺便补充一个有趣的，就英国人、纽西兰人跟澳洲人，他们有的时候偷懒的谢啦，他们会说 ta， 大家应该没听过吧？they would just say ta, when you give them something, they would just say ta. What? Yeah, they did say something. They say ta, right? But for you to express your gratitude more formally, you would probably say I appreciate it, right? I appreciate it. APPRECIATE. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, right? So please try to repeat after me. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah. 对，主词不要忘了，就是有那个 I， 因为很多人学一半，就是在那边跟老外就是说什么 appreciate， 我说 what？就你直接用 appreciate 是一个命令句，就是一个原形动词，就是请你欣赏，请你感恩，这样很没礼貌。Alright, so actually you mean I appreciate it。那个 it 指的是 your help 啊，就是感谢你做的这件事情或者这一切。I appreciate it。然后我们也常听到 Thanks man, I really appreciate it。Alright, so I really appreciate it。这个真的非常实用，请大家把它学好。好，那从这里很明显看得出来，它是一个 transitive verb， 它是及物动词。因为这里 I appreciate your suggestions for our school, right? So 它直接接一个受词嘛，对。So what do you appreciate? I appreciate your suggestions for our school. Or you can say thank you for your suggestions for our school, or thank you for, yeah, just thank you for something. OK， 好。或者说 I appreciate something. OK， 这些都很棒，也很适合做在就是导览的结尾。So I appreciate your time. I appreciate your patience. 如果你让人家等很久的时候，比起一直跟人家说 I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry， 你可以说 I really appreciate your patience。我真的很欣赏你的耐心。好，这叫做什么？说话的艺术嘛。Alright, so to learn to say welcome. It's also very important to say welcome. All right, and sometimes for welcome, we can try to be creative. What do I mean by being creative? For some very great tour guides I know, they know, I don't know, maybe 20, maybe welcome in 20 languages. So when they see travelers from all over the world, they would just use all the languages they know to say welcome. For example, they might say 欢迎, welcome, willkommen, and yokoso, or things like that. Yeah, so people feel interesting. I mean, they feel interested because you are an interesting person and you know something about their culture. You know something about their language. Yeah, so that's a very good tip. Yeah, so for your reference, you can try to look up those words. It's now very easy with the help of the internet. You can learn some useful phrases, right? Just don't, I mean, it's nice when you learn how to curse in a language. 很多人说学语言从脏话开始嘛，对。可是如果只会脏话，你在导览的时候一直讲也很奇怪啊， right? But to learn how to say welcome, I think that's quite useful. 就是学一个欢迎或打个招呼也好， just to say how to say hello in different languages. People will be amazed when you do that, right? So another example from my trip to Paris is somewhat related to this. That is to use some local language to get attention, right? So when I was in Paris, before I went, I heard that French people do not, specifically enjoy using English as a language. I would say, then why? But it's quite complicated, the reason. But anyway, I still could only use English. So other than that, how do I talk to them? It's not possible for me to use Chinese back then. But now it's possible because there are a lot of overseas Chinese, right? But anyway, I just learned how to say hello in French, and it's bonjour, right? So bonjour, right? So it's not very difficult, right? bonjour, right? But it just, it was quite interesting for me to observe how they use bonjour, because for some people they have very high pitch. They're like bonjour. I was like, wow, sounds like a bird. But then bonjour, I just think, how to say hello to people to get their attention first. So that's how I did. I mean, that's what I did. So when I needed to ask people for directions, I say bonjour, and they would look at me. They thought I would speak French. But then I learned also another phrase that's parlez-vous anglais. It means that do you speak or can you speak English? And for some people, they would just say no. So with some French accent, they would say no. But still, for some people, they would say, I can't really, but I can help. I can try. So they're really helpful. And yeah, so that's how I succeeded. And I got a lot of help in that trip because of this, thankfully. All right, so it's really, really useful. It's not just for touring people and being hospitable. it's also useful when you travel, when you talk to foreign people. Right. Let's look at another one. Please feel free to let me know if you have any questions. All right. Supposedly there should be an S, right? An S at the end of the sentence, so you can add it if you're taking notes. Please feel free to let me know if you have any questions. Right. This is super useful. You can just say it. You can write it in your email. You can write it in your messages. You can write it anywhere, using even Instagram, even for Tinder. If you're on Tinder, you can let people know if you have anything you would like to, talk to them, and after some explanations you can say. But this is more work related though, right? So 这个听起来很工作啦。我刚刚那个 Tinder 是开玩笑，就是交友软体上应该比较用不到这个句子。But please feel free 的句型倒是很好用。就是请不要太拘束，就是请大家自由自在。Please feel free, alright, so let me know if you have any questions. Alright, 就是不要吝啬，意思就是有问题随时跟我说的概念。So feel free to do something. Alright, so for example, when you're touring, maybe you're doing some announcements, and at the end of the announcement, you might say, "Please feel free to let me know if you have any question." Alright. Or please let us know, and my colleagues or my coworkers. 就是如果你有跟其他同事、朋友、同仁一起导览的话，就是 let somebody know, right? Okay, this sounds polite and this sounds nice because you don't just say, you can ask me, you can ask me. 就讲 you can ask me 并没有问题，可是只是听起来没有那么自由。我觉得 for the most part, people like to have a choice. So when you say feel free to let me know, 这样听起来比较像是你给大家一个自由自在的选项，可是你也没有命令他们，然后 they don't have to do so. But if they have any questions, they can feel free to talk to you. So that's the idea. So you can use this sentence structure too. And also this one, we're looking forward to having you again, right? So if it's on your side, you can always start talking by saying, well, thank you very much for having me, first of all. 那什么叫做 thank you for having me? 不是谢谢吃我，而是说谢谢你招待我或接待我。Thank you for having me. Alright, 所以这个是很客气的一个开头。Thank you for having me. And in English, you can definitely say, "We're looking forward to having you again." 这里文法并没有错因为它这里介系词 to 后面 ing， 所以很多人反而会用错，就是 look forward to 后面都忘记 ing 化因为 ing 化的意思其实就是变名词就是 "We're looking forward to your visit," right? "We're looking forward to your email." "We're looking forward to your presentation." 我们期待你的简报 right? "We're looking forward to your visit again," right? 那你用动词的话，当然要把它变 VING 才会变名词，叫做 having you again， 看成一整件事 right? So we're looking forward to having you again, right? 就是很期待再接待你。We're looking forward to having you again. Also, hope you enjoy your stay in Taiwan. Right? We do hope you enjoy your stay in Taiwan. 这句也超级好用。为什么说好用呢？有时候你遇到那种很尬聊的来宾，就是他们真的话少到很像刚出道的萧敬腾 ，right? So 你就可以跟他讲这种话，就是把整个讨论做一个结尾，不然你就是会要一直讲话的感觉。对，你就是最后一个结尾when you're about to say goodbye and they don't know how to say goodbye. Some people just don't know how to end the conversation. Right? So this is a good ending for a conversation. You would say, "Well, enjoy your stay." Right? 所以我也要教大家一些很实用的语句词，包括 well 就是如果现场气氛很干，都没有人在讲话，大家尬掉的时候，你可以说 well 或者是 so， 就是有一种 so enjoy your stay in Taiwan 然后就可以准备转头说拜了。好，这个就是很实用 very useful. Right, to begin a sentence. When you don't know what to say, you can just say, "So, what do you think? So, how do you like this place? So, do you like stinky tofu?" 就不用怕尴尬了， 就是你不尴尬，尴尬的就是别人，这是一个很重大的关键。Right, so when you are touring people, yeah, you want to be very positive and very nice and friendly, but sometimes people are just shy. Right, not everyone you receive should be all outgoing and positive. 对，也不分国界啊，这就是一种个性。Right, so you can definitely just say, "Hope you enjoy your stay." In, for example, Pingdong, like hope you enjoy your stay here. Hope you enjoy school, or you can say enjoy your semesters. Right, hope you enjoy this year. Hope you enjoy this trip. Right, so hope you enjoy your stay in Taiwan, and you can use this as a hotel receptionist too. 就在饭店接待，你也可以说 enjoy your stay, right? 那如果是航空业，就 enjoy your flight, right? So 那这句也很实用 ，safe travels, right? Safe travels 就旅途平安，因为通常不太会只搭一趟东西，你可能搭了飞机要再转机 ，right? So 旅途平安。就以前大家这课本，我不知道为什么课本都教大家法文 ，bon voyage。Right, so actually not everyone understands this, right? So safe travels, I mean, in the English-speaking world, it's more common, right? I mean, of course, bon voyage is common too. It's just like c'est la vie, right? 就是有一些法文，其实在英文世界很常见啦，只是也希望大家要正确使用，不要误解了。因为 bon voyage 指的是类似旅途愉快、平安顺风啊。因为 voyage 后来也变英文嘛，叫旅程。那 bon voyage，bon 是法文的好啊，就像刚刚的 bonjour， 对啊。那 bon voyage 就是旅途愉快 ，right？ 那 in English just safe travels，safe travels，right？ So some useful stuff for you. All right. Let's go. 哦，我讲一下 c'est la vie， 太多人搞错了，还是要讲一下。right？很多人以为 c'est la vie 是享受人生 ，No, it's wrong. c'est la vie 是没办法，这就是人生啊。这是一个超级悲观跟无奈的片语，叫做 c'est la vie， 就是 take it or leave it， 很像英文的 take it or live it，take it or leave it。好，那跟好朋友之间讲的，就是会讲 suck it up。就是不要再玻璃心了，振作一点，去面对吧。啊 ，face it, you have to face it, suck it up， 就是必须要面对。Yeah, so c'est la vie， 无奈的话，对，不是什么享受人生。很多人都以为在那边喝咖啡，然后说 c'est la vie， 然后完全错。哦 c'est la vie 这就是人生啊，没办法。哦，所以你下次听到人家讲 c'est la vie， 应该是一个比较无奈的情境哦。Right, so. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the useful expressions, right? So, yeah, and now some worst case scenarios. Before that, I would like to share the videos for your reference. Let's change our pace a little bit. So I have found 3 interesting videos. All right, here about some day trip in Pingdong and also a vlogger's trip to Pingdong City and Xiaoliuqiu. Right, so we can actually learn a lot of not just English, but also ideas from them. All right, so give me a second. It's here. All right, so I just found this video online from 2 vloggers. All right, and it's actually quite new, just from this year, just 8 months ago. So their day trip to Pingdong Shi, right? So they took the local train, and what's this? Taiwan's first cacao grower, 种可可豆的, and amazing suspension bridge. Suspension bridge 不是什么悬疑桥，是吊桥。suspend 吊起来嘛。好。So suspension bridge. Alright, so definitely we're not going to finish the whole video, but we can train our listening a little bit. And I would pause when there are some parts of the talk that requires my explanation. And if you have any question, 有任何问题也可以随时提出来，在文字区提出来讨论哈。Alright, let's take a look.
Got off the train and arrived in Pingdong City. Pingdong has a population of around 200,000 people and it's just southeast of Kaohsiung.
讲错啦 ？Really？ 对吗？这个人数对吗？再听一次。
1,000 people and it's just southeast in Pingdong City. Pingdong has a population of around 200,000 people.
有这么多人吗？没有吧？对啊，怎么会说屏东有200,000 people？ 还是对，差不多20万，对吼。好，那对 ，OK， 好，对不起，我错。好 ，OK，200,000 people， 好，20万人。好，顺便让大家练习数字转换，200,000。好，因为数字转换是我通常会再另外花一堂课专门教的东西 ，but大家就自己小小练习一下，200,000。
It's just southeast of Kaohsiung, so it was a really quick train ride, just about 30 minutes or so. The Aboriginal name for Pingtung is a cow, meaning the forest. After the famous warrior Koxinga expelled the Dutch from southern Taiwan, Pingtung became a really big market town, and it is now the largest city in all of Pingtung County. Today we have some awesome things on our itinerary, the first of which is a glass suspension bridge, the Shanchuan Glass Suspension Bridge. It's a little bit outside of the city center, so we're going to take a taxi ride, maybe about 20-30 minutes, and go check it out.
All right, we're going to see if we can get one of these cabbies to take us to this.
好有趣哦，他讲 cabbies， 好，不知道他们是哪里人，好，非常有趣。就计程车，大家学过 taxi 嘛 ，cab。跟他讲 cabbies， 好，就是比较口语化的 cab， 顺便写一下。Alright, so yeah, it's very good. I mean, because they are talking about transportation. When we are touring people, transportation is definitely one of the key topics. 很多人会问我们说，那 how do we get there? Or how do you get there? How are we moving there? 就是我们的移动方式等等等。So, 大家也有兴趣可以再自己找这个影片来听他讲的。他在介绍这个 Glass Suspension Bridge 这个吊桥，然后他有提到说，不远嘛，我们再听一次，然后大概搭多久的车
Suspension Bridge. It's a little bit outside of the city.
A little bit outside of the city， 这种也可以学起来，就很口语化的东西啊，它就是各种拼图的组成 ，like outside。要不要这个 of 的都还好 ，city， 然后它只加上 a little bit， 稍微远离稍微离开市区，意思是也没有太 too suburban， 没有到太郊区 a little bit out of the city， and how far away is it?
So we're going to take a taxi ride, maybe about 20-30 minutes.
Okay, a taxi ride， 这个也很简单啊。So we need to take a car. Yeah, we can say that. Take a car, 搭台车 or take a taxi, right? And how far away is it? People might ask you, and you can just say, "Oh, it's about a 20-30 minutes ride." 这是他讲的这种用法。20, 30, THIRTY minutes ride. 这个指的是大概多久时间大概20-30分钟的车程。Alright, so that's generally it's a car ride， 就是搭车。然后你可以讲 by car， 你可以说 20-30 minutes by car， 大概多远？或者 maybe you're riding a scooter, right? So it's maybe 20-30 minutes by scooter.
And go check it out.
All right, we're going to see if we can get one of these cabbies to take us to the suspension bridge. Let's see how this works out.
然后讲很快哦 ，one of these cabbies to get us to the bridge. All right.
We've made it into the cab. We are on the way to the suspension bridge. Not really sure how much it's going to cost us, but the meter is running. And
the meter is running. 我觉得这个很重要。 It's about my personal experience. 我之前去深圳的时候被骗，就是他们的那个计程车司机就很勤劳。好，when I just landed and I was looking for my friend. I mean, I was trying to use Uber, which was a stupid idea because in Shenzhen Uber was not really big. But I thought it was fine. But then I was, using my phone trying to get an Uber. But then a taxi driver just approached me. Maybe I looked too approachable, and he just came to me and say, "Hey," 当然他讲中文，说可以搭我的车，然后就说我是停在什么地下室什么的 ，OK，然后我就跟他下去，我就说会跳表吧，他说会，然后就放在行李后上车，我就说表呢？他说不用担心啊，等下就是照表算给你。我说OK，I should have gotten off the car already。对，所以你看到那个没有 meter 的时候很重要。好，那它这个计程车的表就叫做 meter，right？ So， 总之最后他就是狮子大开口，然后我也跟他讨价还价，但是还是比 Uber 贵。好。
The cab, we are on the way to the suspension bridge. Not really sure how much that's going to cost us, but the meter is running, and we have found that cabs are actually quite regulated here in Taiwan. We haven't found ourselves being ripped off in any situations like in other places we've been.
We made.
你看 ，You see, it's quite common. 好，这有一个关键的词叫什么 ？ripped off。他说 ，It's not like，他说他觉得 it's quite regulated，就台湾的计程车蛮有制度的，监管的很好。regulated， 打错了，regulated， yeah, but it's not like 他们没有被不孝业者。
But the meter is running, and we have found that cabs are actually quite regulated here in Taiwan. We haven't found ourselves being ripped off in any.
Being ripped off or anything. Rip off. Rip off 是被剥了一层皮。那当然不是指physically, but 被诈骗或者被敲竹杠，都是一个 rip off 很生气，你可以讲说 That's a rip off， 就抢钱就叫做 That's a rip off 就是在骗 ，right？ 所以他们的 they feel quite positive about this taxi ride experience.
Situations like in other places we've been.
We made it to the Shenchuan glass suspension bridge. We took our taxi over here. It cost us $20 to get here, but it was also a 30-minute taxi ride. So I think it was a decent price. We landed out here in the mountains. It feels very different from where we just were in Pingtung.
Feels very different from where we just were in Pingtung. 好，等一下来处理这个气氛的描述词。那这边我们可以先学到一个重点，他说 very decent price。可以学 decent 是一个很好的形容词，就是除了讲 nice 以外，如果你觉得东西的品质很优质或者蛮不错的，很公道或者很正当，你就可以讲说it's quite decent。Right? Now you can use decent to describe a place, a person, a business. Right? 那 decent 主要有这个意思。就是好的、优质的意思。So decent price 就是觉得这价钱还蛮公道、蛮正常的。好，right， 另外类似他这里的意思是 reasonable 就他觉得还蛮合理的，因为 because it's a 30 minutes ride，right， so it costs $20， 他刚刚秀出来600块左右 ，right， 那他说 it feels very different from where we were， 注意他的句型。
$20 to get here, but it was also a 30-minute taxi ride. So I think it was a decent price. We landed out here in the mountains. It feels very different from where we just were in Pingtung.
重点是 it feels。所以这个一个地方的感觉，你可以用 it feels。比如说，假设你觉得某个地方很像世外桃源，你可以说 it feels like heaven， 好像太高级了。It feels like a fairy tale。Feels like fairy tale， 所以一个地方的气氛，你可以用 feels 怎么样给人来形容。it feels like fairy tale， 等。好，所以你可以说 it feels different from where we were in the city. And when you are touring people, you can compare different places you've been to or you are going to go to. And then you can say, oh, that place feels different. That place feels quiet and that place feels old, or some place feels cool or trendy， 很时尚潮流 ，right 等等等 ，right busy 等等都是可以用来形容 feels 怎么样怎么样怎样。
City, it's a lot cooler and overcast. See.
好，大家猜一下 overcast 是什么意思？It's a lot cooler 应该很简单吧 ？I think it should be easy for you。是讲天气比较凉爽。那 an overcast，any ideas, thoughts？ 可以用打字的。大家觉得 overcast 是什么意思？有一点要大家考验大家推理能力，因为从画面不能直接看出来，可是 you have some clues。我提示啦，跟天气有关啦。It's cooler and overcast。大家觉得这里是艳阳天还是云朵比较多？阴天 ，very good，yeah。Overcast 指的是有云比较偏向多云的天气，可是不一定会讲 cloudy，right？So 阴天，对 ，so overcast 就是有点云或云比较多，可能不像是屏东 City 那么的艳阳高照。
Mountains in the distance, and we are walking up the pathway to go to the bridge. This area.
然后 mountain in the distance， 所以一小段路有山啊，然后有步道啊等等。好，我们来跳一下 ，let's jump a little bit. 好 ，go to this suspension bridge to see how she feels about it and how she introduces this to her viewers.
So this bridge, I believe it might be the longest suspension bridge in Taiwan. It's about 262 meters long, and it is situated.
You see, knowledge again. It's not from nowhere. It must be from somewhere she read, maybe from a travel guide, 我们讲旅游书, or a travel book, or something on the somewhere on the internet. Yeah, so she has done her research, obviously, and that's what we should do. When we are introducing some places to people. And of course, you can mix some personal observations and personal experience in it, because that's why and that's how you make it unique. Right? Otherwise, people can just go online and look for information they want, right? But sometimes when you are there and when you introduce some useful and key information, people you can just take their experience to a whole different level, right? So that's very important when you can give some timely information.
Situated over the Ai Lao River. River looks pretty dried up. Southern Taiwan has not been getting a lot of rain this season.
I would love to come back once this river is actually flowing and you can see the water flowing beneath it. Right now it is completely dry.
We're gonna get some millet donuts.
来，谢谢。Okay, thank you.
Oh, you hear what she said? Some millet donuts. 小米其实是我们在介绍很多食物的时候还蛮容易遇到的食材或者是作物。你 say produce， 农作物是大家知道吗？这个字你们一定会，你们一定看得懂，可是你们想说，这是生产制造啊，没有。那个生产制造是 produce 发音不一样同一个字 ，but when you say produce 就是农产品Okay, so it's a common produce 小米 and in English it's millet, and it's also because it says millet donut, and then it's easier for foreigners to understand what this is about, and they got interested and they're here to buy some millet donut to try out.
YouTuber?
Yeah, you
Yes.
YouTuber? Good job, 老板。
I like YouTuber.
We're gonna try a donut from Aboriginal Hill, as it says on the pack.
它是叫 Aboriginal Hill。好，但我还是提一下啦，就是近代呢，我们在讲原住民或原民的形容词的时候 ，it's better or more common internationally to say indigenous。这是这几年的变化。indigenous as a adjective 形容词。原住民的。 好，原住民相关的 indigenous people, indigenous cultures, indigenous tribes 啊，原住民的部落啊等等。那它用的是 aboriginal， 也会用啊 aboriginal， aboriginal， 只是以前更常用，但现在因为联合国 because of the United Nations， 他们一些大的规章都偏向用 indigenous 比较多，所以 aboriginal 就相对变少了。对，但大家还是 people can still understand。好，是原住民的，所以写成中文根本就一样。Yeah, but just pay attention to the differences and try to use indigenous more than aboriginal. Right.
A millet donut. Ooh, just breaking up a piece here. It's really like gummy texture.
You see, 超级实用. So when you have this texture to describe or introduce to some foreigners or anyone who speaks English, you can just say gummy texture. 大家懂吗? You know what's gummy? Gum 其实是口香糖 ，right? So 变成形容词 gummy texture。好，那另外一个有趣的字是小熊软糖，叫做 gummy bear。啊，德文叫 gummy， 对 ，gummy bear，right？ 所以 gummy， 就是说它整个那个it's quite chewy。有时候我们讲很 Q 弹，我们会讲说很有嚼劲啊，就是 chew 是去咀嚼嘛。嚼 ，right? So chewy 可以用来形容 it's very gummy. It's 它的嚼劲。对，那意大利人他们会讲那个面很有弹性，叫做 al dente， 啊，就是很弹牙的意思。我都觉得比较接近我们在台湾讲的 Q。Right, so chewy, gummy. 那 texture 是一个超好用的词，因为 for every food or everything you can say, oh, it has a， 然后形容词 texture, it has a gummy texture, it has a very soft texture， 就是吃起来很软嫩very tender， 可能肉质很软，那你就可以讲 tender texture 啊，那这些都很好用，或是 tough， 吃起来很硬很韧。你可以说 very tough texture， 就是形容食物很好用的 expressions。
And there's a little sprinkled sugar on top.
Sprinkle sugar on top.
That's delicious.
So
delicious 应该不用教。Alright, so sprinkle 倒是很值得我们学，撒一些东西。Yeah, so sometimes people, especially for the night market shop owners, they would sprinkle some green onions, 撒一些葱花 right? Sprinkle 撒上去 right? So sprinkle some sugar on top. Sugar 大家应该会。
we are done checking out that amazing bridge that you all just saw, and we went into one of the cafes in that area and asked them to order us a cab. It was a little bit difficult to communicate, but we figured it out.
Okay, you got it. It was a little difficult to communicate, but we figured it out. 所以这是他们刚好去到一家店，可能老板英文不太通吧。Because you weren't there. 没有同学在店里可以帮忙。Right, so you weren't there. Right, so it was a little difficult to communicate, but we figured it out.
And they called us, I think it's like a personal car. I don't know. It's not really a cab. It's like...
我覺得是白牌車誒。Do you know what that is? Do you know what 白牌車? No idea. 白牌車就是have you ever pay attention to a taxi's car plate? 有看過計程車的車牌數字是用什麼顏色寫的嗎？ What color is it? Red. It should be red, right? Red color. 大家有興趣去觀察一下身邊，還是計程車不常看到。就計程車只要是小黃的話 ，the colors, I mean the numbers should be in red color, right? 那所謂的白牌車就是一般的車牌是白底黑字 ，right? 可是它可能有跟店家簽約，那其實就是不完全 ，it's not entirely legal， 對，但它可能是簽約合法的這樣子。好，那如果看到路上是一般車，可是紅色的字呢？那就叫做多元計程車或 Uber。好
I don't know.
driver service.
Yeah, driver service of some sort. So we are now
driver service 就是一般的驾驶服务 ，so I think that's what I call 白牌车。Alright.
getting to a lovely. You know what? I'm not even gonna tell you. I'm just gonna show you when we get there. Pikachu.
Pikachu.
我讲，我会记在他啊。好，朋友，谢谢。
We are here at a very special restaurant called Choose Chias. It is the restaurant of the famous Mr. Chias, who was the first cacao grower here in Taiwan.
Oh, that's cool.
He has become very well known and awarded for his chocolate bars that he produces from his cacao plants grown right here at the restaurant.
好，就是可可豆啦。好，yeah, so. Tour time.
You make the chocolate here.
How many years?
Near 20 years.
20 years.
Near 20 years. Almost 20 years.
So it's kind of a bummer that we got here too late to eat the pumpkin.
It's kind of a bummer. 就是有点可惜，有点扫兴，叫做 bummer. It's kind of a bummer we came here a little too late to eat the pumpkin. 表示他们这里讲的 late 不是当天的晚那个 late 是指季节上的晚，所以错过南瓜季节。
But it was a real treat for the guy who founded this place to take us out back and show us the cacao growing right off of the tree and letting us sample some of the seeds. I get the feeling that's not something you get to try every day.
That was amazing. It's always kind of awkward when there's a language barrier and you can't really communicate, but it was so nice that he just took us out there and let us sample the raw cacao.
Sample the raw cacao. 这个很值得我们学习。raw 生的可可豆 cacao。sample 就是试吃。Alright, try some sample. 吃一点 sample. You don't get this every day. 那还有讲到 awkward 是有点尴尬，有点囧囧的。Alright, so 这种都是口语非常常用到的说法。Alright, that's for this video. 有兴趣大家在 if you're interested, you can finish the video yourself. And let's take a look at the quite different approach. 这是另外 from another YouTuber. I think this YouTuber is based in Kaohsiung and he just traveled to Pingdong City for one day for this video. And he wasn't really introducing the city. He just, it's more like a personal vlog. So I'm going to skim through most part of it. But he did express some personal opinions and ideas, how he's feeling about the place.
Morning and welcome to day 2 of episode 1 of Wes's new series, Taiwan in Motion. I'm feeling good today. I thought I might take myself for a drive out to the mountains. So let's hit the road. Hey guys, just made it to Pingdong here. It is actually really beautiful. Check this out. These canals and bridges, rivers, so nice.
Like I said, so nice. They love nice, right? So 他真的没有介绍什么，他就讲说 canals， 可是这些字很值得我们学，因为你要介绍这种市区里面的这种，它也不叫canals 严格说起来是运河，可是城市里面的河沟，所以都算是 canals。他就说 canals。Bridges, rivers, so nice. So just canals, bridges, rivers, so nice. 5 words, right? So bridges, 桥我应该不用写rivers, so nice, right? So that's basically what it's about. And he just walk around and It's mostly about what he feels about the places that he's been to, right? Okay. So also, if you're interested, you can check this out. And for the last final part, he was using his drone, drone 无人机, using his drone to capture the beautiful moments in the city. And for the last video I'm going to show you would be quite a different style again, but this one is in 小琉球. Right. And just wanted to showcase so many different tour styles as possible. Yeah, and this is called a walking tour. Right. In the future, if you're looking for some materials for your reference, you can use walking tour as a keyword. Right. So walking tour 就比较像是步行导览。Yeah. 比较不会找到那种太官方的那种说什么Pingdong City was blah 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 的那种影片，就是那种 walking tour 比较自然一点，就是大家边走边拍的。maybe vlog, yeah， 那还是要去浮潜的 snorkeling, right? So a very different style vlogger again.
So let's take a tour of.
Like I said, so you see, so is so useful. 影片的开头就可以 So let's take a tour.
So let's take a tour of this temple that I am camping at.
I'm camping
right now,
at.
I'm at the southeastern of the island. It's right next by the Dafu Harbor, and this temple is Dai Tiangong. There are like over 60 temples on this little freaking island.
Well, I didn't know. There are over 60 temples on 小琉球, although she calls it a freaky island. 小琉球有60几间庙。
60 of them. Well, according to the information from the driver, told me because the fishermen, they wish to get the blessing from the god or the lock. So that's.
You see, that's good knowledge there. Right. If a foreigner just asks you, hey, so I need to mute. Okay. So if a foreigner just asks you, okay, so I see a lot of temples, and what are they? Are you Buddhist? Are you Taoist? You know, I get a lot of questions like that. And you need to be able to explain yourself. I mean, you don't have to be super knowledgeable and be like an encyclopedia, 不用当百科全书. But you still at least need to have something to say. And you can have your own explanations and interpretation about things. All right. So here's one interpretation from the driver. The driver obviously said that it's because people or fishermen want to get the blessings from the gods. That's why there are so many temples, and it makes a lot of sense, right? Yeah. So you get the idea. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty nice. Yeah, so these are the 3 videos I recommend you to check out. All right. So please do check out, and that's about our homework today, our assignment. I will let you know later, but for now, I'm going back to the worst case scenarios for some ideas from you instead of me talking all the time, right? So here it is. Yeah. So yes, we can be very positive, very happy, very nice and approachable, but we can't control our guests. When our guests, they don't really want to listen to you, it still happens. So what do you do? Any ideas? Do you give up on them? You just say, it's okay, I don't care. What do you do when your guests don't want to listen to you? Any ideas? Thoughts? Just imagine that you have prepared a lot to introduce Jingsi Lake, Jingsi or Beidawusan, or your campus. And then the guests, they just, look at you and and they say, that's okay. It happens. What do you do? Well, basically, we still respect them and leave them alone. I mean, it's easy that you can just walk around, but we don't have to force them to do anything. You don't have to say, hey, listen to me. I have prepared a lot. It's not how it works. But, it happens. Or try to be more interesting. But just remember, sometimes it's not your fault. They don't want to listen to you. Maybe they just have their personal reasons. Or you can ask some questions about them. People are generally interested in themselves. So if you ask them to talk about themselves or what they're interested in, maybe you can use that angle to twist your introductions. For example, if somebody is really interested in cooking, then you can introduce food while going from a chef's or a cook's perspective instead of yourself only, right? So let's try to look at the world from a different angle. That's also useful. And when they're really tired, it might be one of the reasons why they don't want to listen to you. They might be really tired from the whole day's trip or the itinerary. So, 行程。除了讲 schedule 以外，你也可以讲 itinerary, right? Itinerary, right? 这个是一个行程表。Now, when we're traveling, when we are going on a business trip, usually we get the itinerary. So when they have a whole day's itinerary, you're really tired, and maybe you can reschedule or you can just adjust the itinerary so they can get some rest maybe earlier, and you might change the next day's schedule too. You can start earlier the next day, be flexible. What else? When they take out a camera in a museum which doesn't allow photography, what do? This is asking us to be polite when we ask people to do something they don't like, right? So just be respectful and remind them and say, I know you want to take photos, but please, we have the museum. There are some rules from the museum, and I just learned this from them, and we're reminded that we should not have any photography inside the museum. So please understand, or things like that. So be really respectful, but still state what you need to tell them. And when they think your all-time favorite stinky tofu is super disgusting, for some people this means war. 战争要开打. Right, so this means war for some people, right? But still you can be open-minded and discuss why, and maybe it's a smell and they might want to know how it is made, and you should be able to explain how it works. For example, the fermentation, 你要办法讲得出来臭豆腐为什么会臭啊，你要说是发酵啊，然后有很多菌啊，很健康啊， if you really love the food. So again, it's a lot of background knowledge. It takes some time for you to prepare yourself for. And when they laugh at weird English spellings they see, well, I sometimes laugh with them, and then I will report the weird spellings to the authorities concerned, right? Because 有很多地方拼的就是不好，或者是他的那个告示板会写的怪怪的，然后很多外国朋友就会拍给我。Because I have a page on Facebook. I have some social media accounts, right? So I do share things about translation, and people usually love reading them, right? So also by doing so, I hopefully raise people's awareness about English translations and spelling as a whole, right? So my foreign friends would share with me these weird spellings and weird translations. So my idea is never to blame anyone, but how can we improve this together to improve the quality, right? So you can laugh with them, or you can try to explain why the mistakes are like that. Maybe you can tell from the translation that, oh, I know what's happening here. Maybe it's a very literal translation of some Chinese expressions from English, into English. That's why they made the mistakes. And you can try to explain or give more cultural backgrounds or background information to those people. And sometimes people are confused, by some people's English pronunciation. But these people might be important people, might be from the school, might be the school president, might be your professors, your teachers, I don't know. Some important people. Yeah, but sometimes we do have mispronunciations. It happens to me too. Right, so we still try to, I think it's the same idea with English spellings, weird English spellings. So you can be respectful, but this time don't laugh at those important people with them. You can try to explain why it's that and how you understand that. So finally, the idea is to get the message across. Yeah, and also this involves business and also buying and selling and money. All right, so if they ask you to buy something and send it to them, you can definitely refuse. You can say it's not really convenient for you, it's quite costly, or you don't know how. For this one, you can say I don't know. Yeah, so we don't always need to know everything. And when they have some requests, you can really decide for yourself if this is workable for you, or maybe it is a lot of trouble. Yeah, so the idea is like this. Okay, when they ask you out in private, or when they touch you, when they ask you to drink with them. Yeah, so I think these three are quite similar. So it's about the personal space. They want to invite you out to see if you're interested and want to, have some physical interactions with you, or to drink with them, which involves, personal tolerance, alcohol tolerance, right? So just remember the personal boundaries, your personal space. Yeah, and everybody should be respectful for everyone's else body. And yeah, so protect ourselves. That's also very important, right? So if you really want to develop a relationship after the assignment, I would suggest, finish the official assignment first, and then, things will go naturally. That will be afterwards. Just try not to involve too much, personal romance into work, right? But it's okay. You know each other, and you can stay in touch, stay connected afterwards. Yeah. So basically, that's the idea. So today we've learned a lot of useful expressions and phrases, and also a lot of ideas about being hospitable, hospitality in general. Yeah, so now it's a take-home assignment. Alright, so the homework is very easy. The homework is for you to finish all 3 videos I just show you. I am going to send you the link. It'll be easier for you to review here. So please finish the 3 videos, and throughout the videos, while you're watching them, do take notes. Right. So just take notes. Any new English expressions you've never learned, just write them down. And I don't have any set format. Just these 3 videos. Okay? Yeah. And next week, we will be looking more into some potential destinations for you to tour. Yeah, so learn about the background knowledge. So we will be reading information not just in English, but also some of them in Chinese. So feel free to look up some potential destinations, or you can give me some suggestions in the beginning of next class, next Monday. And then for the last week, we will be doing some presentations, so we will do grouping at the end of next class. So that's it for today. Just take some notes, either in, you can use paper, pen and paper, or your cell phone, but just remember to take notes and do share them with me next week. So next week in the beginning, I will check your notes. It can be a Word file, it can be Excel, anything, or it can be a what's that called? Screenshot. If you're taking notes, 如果用手机写的话，你就截图传上来都可以. So I know that you have taken some notes. You're learning something from the 3 videos, and that's what matters the most to me, because that's for your personal growth. and learning. All right. I hope that's clear. Any questions at all? Nope. Okay. Good to know. 好, then I'll see you guys next week then. All right. Looking forward to our next class. 好，谢谢大家。那 that's it for today. Thank you, William. 谢谢 William 老师，谢谢大家。Okay.
谢老师。
Okay. So I will end this meeting if there's no announcement needed. Okay. So I think that's it for today. Take care and enjoy lunch. I'll see you next week.